Hi, this is the answer for midterm 1 by Ha. Question 1. The analysis of Southside High School District case study. Principal Bridgeston came up with the timeout room practice without considering the reality factors. Will the practice work effectively? What are the evidences to prove that the practice will work effectively? What do the staff think about the practice? Will they approve it? What will the room look like? Will it cause any trouble or concerns for the staff? Bridgeston is still not very clear about how to implement the practice yet. Once you do not have the detailed plan, it is time you consulted with your staff, but not implement it. When the new school year began in August, she told the faculty about the timeout room and how she would assign students who received too much detention. The faculty seemed supportive of this plan, but a few were unhappy with the crowded condition of the reception area. Some also questioned the supervision of the students and what would happen if 3 students were in the room at the same time. She assured them that all of this would be handled. This was the recipe for disequilibrium because Bridgeston did not know how to solve the confusion among teachers who did not feel happy about the practice. She should have asked them what their concerns were and try to fix them. Reaffirm with them that this was one intervention program aimed at improving discipline at the school site. Obviously the goal should be supported by all teachers since they should know how important it is for the school to restore discipline and reduce suspension. A reporter indicated he had heard that Ms. Bridgeston had built a box that would be used for misbehaving students. Bridgeston assured the reporter that this was a small room, not a box, and tried to explain the concepts behind a timeout room. Bridgeston would have explained about the small box and the concept of a timeout room at the meeting with the faculty to make sure that everyone was in the same page. What the reporter heard was a result of a misinterpretation from the unhappy teachers, who did not understand the purpose and how the practice worked yet. Bridgeston was right in rotating the information to the reporter, the public. She would also have asked him where he got the information. Also, the principal should have reaffirmed that the reporter should be aware of rumor and consult her with any information he was unsure about. Later that day, Ms. Bridgeston's secretary, Laurie Little, asked to discuss the timeout room with her. She told Jane that she did not want to be responsible for supervising students. Laurie also indicated she was unhappy because the room took up too much of the space in the reception area, and she felt there was not enough room for visitors to be comfortable. Laurie had said nothing negative to Ms. Bridgeston when the principal had come back from the conference and had told Laurie of her decision to build a timeout room. Laurie must have been affected by the wrong information, because Bridgeston never assigned her to supervise the students. Bridgeston should have known where she got the information from. Finding the information source is critical because without it, wrong information would never stop coming out, which affects the balance of the school. Based on social system theory, the school now is in the imbalance stage between the formal and informal system. Teachers and staff are unhappy but did not raise their voice to the principal. Instead, they spread the information outside the school system, the organizational needs, which is to reduce suspension and improve discipline, and individual needs, which is our less crowded reception areas and supervision issues are imbalanced. Faculty members are not on the same page on the practice. Institutional goals do not interplay with individual personalities. Faculty members still have concerns about issues related to the practice and still not see the school's goal yet, based on the social system theory. In order to maintain the balance among the elements of the school, input and output information should be controlled. Unclear input will produce wrong output, which leads to negative feedbacks from the public toward the school. Some analysis based on Lencioni's power and reaction theory. Bridgeston action is hasty. She should have had a meeting with the staff to discuss about the timeout idea and the area that they would turn into a timeout room. What she did tends to be coercive power, because there had been no communication for faculty approval before the decision was made. It makes me feel like the principal can do whatever she wanted, and thought that the faculty would do it anyway. What will happen if this school is really a coercive power? Faculty will reluctantly accept the box that Bridgeston just created. They of course will be unhappy and brag about it. Bridgeston will keep receiving phone calls from people who are concerned about the situation. She may also receive bad feedbacks from the public because she will always have unhappy staff who will not stop talking about it as long as they have to suffer from the practice. With coercion to implementation, the school will continue to be in the stage of disequilibrium because the problem will never be solved, as there is no communication among subgroup. More importantly, Bridgeston will lose her status in the eyes of her staff and the public. If the school is a remunerative power, it will by some means reward people who are supportive of the practice, or you implement the practice effectively. However, the program will never work effectively 100% because there will be people who do not think the rewards are worth their efforts. Staff like Laurie will be more concerned about their responsibility to supervise students rather than the reward they will get. Sometimes the fear can be too overwhelmed. If the school is a normative power, the principal will hold another meeting for faculty and staff to explain about the idea until everyone is on the same page. Bridgeston would also help the concerning staff come up with a detailed plan to answer their worries. How many kids will be sent to this room at once? What are the reasonable time for them to be in this room? Who will be supervising them? Is the room too small? Will there be any bigger room to put students in? Bridgeston would also get all staff to see the values and meanings of timeout practice. They will all need to see the direct beneficiaries from this practice are both the students and the teachers. If the program works as effectively as they expect, it will reduce a lot of pressure on their shoulder. According to Etzioni theory, only normative power can be used to promote commitment in the school culture. In this case, Bridgeston will have to do two things. Restore the equilibrium of the school by clarifying the timeout room practice purposes, implementation process. Make sure information coming out or in the school is accurate. Immediately meet up with faculty and if necessary, consult with them about the room issue, such as location, size. Also be open to the fact that the current room is really too small and inappropriately located, which might annoy staff. Based on Mintzberg's organizational typology, since the timeout room practice is mainly the responsibility of the teachers, professional bureaucracy should be considered. This means that what teachers think and are able to do are important. They should have the authority and freedom to raise their voice and receive subsidiarity from other subgroups. Also, since teachers are not familiar with supervising students, they need to have training on this. Based on the compliance theory, the school is not in chaos, it does not need order. The school just needs a reforming culture because it is imbalanced right now. Commitment is the key to change the culture. And in order to do that, there must be a cooperation among officers, formal leaders and informal leaders. Informal leaders are staff and teachers, who are influential. Bridgeston should consult her best teachers and staff to see what they think, and how they think the practice is going to work in the most effective manner. Once she gains the informal leaders, she will have followers in this program. Since the timeout room implementation plan is not clear, the dilemma scenario in this situation can be anticipated. 1. Clarity versus creativity. Who is responsible for supervising the students? Will teachers be clear and flexible enough to decide which students will be put in timeout room? 2. Differentiation versus integration. Teachers and staff might be alternately assigned to supervise the kids. How will they collaborate with each other? 3. Centralization versus decentralization. Will teachers and staff have sufficient authority and responsibilities to put students in detention? 5. Goal-less versus goal-bound. Do teachers and staff consider the practice a means to achieve the same goal? Obviously now, they are not in the same page. 6. Underuse versus overload. Again, who will supervise the students? Staff and teachers might be overloaded with tasks. 7. Irresponsible versus unresponsive. Some staff are resistant, how will they be responsible and responsive to the practice? This will threaten the effectiveness of the practice. Question 2. Case study analysis of Newkirk City School District. Based on Mintzberg's organizational structure, here is the structure of Newkirk School District. Kirkwood City resembles a simple structure with a high level of direct supervision. Strong strategic apex with top administrators. Decisions are made top-down, control is at the top. Communication is downward, and usually one way. In this case, Burns is those one who reports to Rowe. Rowe only makes certain decisions within his authority. The school district can be considered high bureaucracy because of the authority concentrated at the top administrative level. Power is centralized, rules are made vertically, and therefore, the project implementation seems to be less effective due to lack of flexibility and authority at the middle Edmonds. However, since the school district also has a very large division of facility and maintenance, and employs various building and architectural specialists, it also looks like an adhocracy bureaucracy which focuses on support staff, and the primary coordinating mechanism is supposed to be coordinating. Understanding Newkirk City's culture, if I were Burns, I would be more relaxed and look at things at the bright side. Even if the delivery of air conditioning comes a week before the school starts, I would still have one more week to put everything in place for the students. I would kindly ask Robert Watts first, if he needed any help from me. And if he does not, I still want to know the reasons why the delivery is delayed. It is important to communicate and collaborate with Roberts to solve the problems so that we both can meet the goal. Support staff is important in this district. Therefore, mutual adjustment, which means the collaboration and subsidiarity, are both very essential. I would always make sure that I work well with Roberts, not just in terms of listening to his information, but also asking and supervising the delivery progress. The school district also has a strong strategic apex which holds most of the power. Knowing that, I would be careful in what to report to the superintendent and the division director, because the more authority I involve, the more complicated the situation gets. I would start talking with Roberts about Plan B, in case the late delivery would affect the installment of air conditioning. For example, students would attend outdoor activities for the first week of the school year, to give the group some more time for installing air conditioning system, move students to cooler buildings, or cooler areas, or temporarily use fans instead of air conditioners. I would carefully suggest Plan B with the superintendent and the division director before implementing the project, since every project needs Plan B, even C, D, E. I would also ask the district to clarify everyone's responsibilities and authority in implementing the project. I need to know when is the right time to address the problem to the superintendent, and what can I do before that. Will I be able to make immediate decisions, or come up with any flexible alternative solutions once problems occur? End of answer. Thank you for your attention. Best, Da.